stuff with his skateboarding, and I believe it was Viceland the wrestlers, where he said if you miss that, or one who does the worst has to get sprayed with pepper spray, and there's some really weird crap going on. So I don't expect him to be long for this world. If he is, he's the luckiest bastard ever, and well, not from the earlier match. But Jimmy Havoc ended up winning this match. I wouldn't mind seeing a hardcore division. I also wouldn't mind seeing Joey Janela leave. I'm just not into the character. I'm not into the person altogether. I think that he takes. I just don't think that he makes wrestling fun. And wrestling is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that you sit back, you watch. Your disbelief gets a little suspended. If two people want to fight, they want to fight, and Joey Janela just makes it out to be a joke. And I think he is a joke in that Jelly Janela thing. Yeah, I think it sticks. Jimmy Havoc, I've seen the guy wrestle. I like him. But I would like to see him in a little bit more serious stuff. So the Cracker Barrel Clash, if I had to give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, of course I give it a thumbs down. Joey Janela's in there, and I think he's personally a piece of crap. That's just how I feel about him. But the other two, I got no problems. I don't mind the hardcore stuff. I just want to see good hardcore stuff. If you hate each other, show me you hate each other, not just do stupid crap. Now, on to the next match. Great. The Dark Order, which I think is an interesting group. That's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. It kind of a weird deal. They used to be known as the Super Smash Brothers. Then they couldn't use that, of course. Nintendo was ready to sue, and the Dark Order came around. Now, they've been doing the whole lights out gimmick and having the druids, and I think it's actually been kind of a cool deal. I kind of like the gimmick a little bit. If the fact that it wasn't on the main show and it wasn't set up as a big deal in the last few shows that they've done, then I would actually care more. If you want to push a tag team that you're going to turn the lights off for a group, do it on your main pay-per-view show. And they did get to the main pay-per-view show this time, and I'm really glad for them. They actually won the match. The Dark Order defeated Best Friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. Now, what I don't have a lot of nice things to say about the Best Friends. I think that it is just stupid, and good for them. I mean, if they get out there and they wrestle good matches, but truthfully, I don't really care. And if I don't really care about a tag team or match, then I'm not gonna invest my money into it. I'm not gonna invest my time watching it. And it just got worse, much worse, with Orange Cassidy coming out after this match and putting his hands in his pockets. First of all, and I'm not going to hide my love for Mr. Jim Cornette. I think that he's awesome. He calls them Pockets, little dog Pockets. But Orange Cassidy is his wrestling name. The fact the guy puts his hands in his pockets. The dive, I will give the guy credit. The dive was actually pretty cool, and putting your hand in your pockets. Yeah, it's more velocity that way. I guess you're not going to break anything if you do a dive correctly. But also you're not going to fall correctly. The gimmick is just depressingly sad. And it's over to a crowd that like that kind of stuff, and like Cornette says, if you like that, it's the stuff for people who like that kind of stuff, or I guess something like that. For people who like that kind of stuff, it's the kind of stuff that people like. But for me, I think that it's absolutely stupid. If I was a pro wrestler, or if you were in an actual fight, which you're trying to suspend your disbelief for, and the guy has his hand in his pockets, beat the holy shit out of him. Excuse my French. Lots of French will be said on a lot of these podcasts. Take a chair and smash his freaking head in. What is he going to do? Block it with his hands? No, they're in his damn pockets. Kick him in the face. Punch him. Punch him. Instead, he comes in and in other stuff, he does these really sloth-like moves, these really terrible kicks. The crowd, I don't get how they get into this. I don't get how he's a thing. It's a novelty act that will wear off in no time at all. So, I think it's stupid. The best friends gave him a hug. Of course, you can't hug a guy. He's not going to hug you back because his hands are in his freaking pockets. Just stupid. But, getting back to the actual match, the Dark Order wins, gets the first round bye in the tournament. Hopefully, it's a better, longer tournament than the women's tournament, which is just the Casino Battle Royal. And the next match had to set that up. Ashida and Riho. And interesting, Riho is like 100 pounds soaking wet with 2 bricks in her pocket. But a phenomenal wrestler nonetheless. I mean, you did have, you had Iro Shirai. She doesn't weigh that much. You have also the Kabuki Warriors, the lady from the Kabuki Warriors. The one who won the Mae Young Classic. The name will come to me. Kairi Sane. There you go. Sometimes it happens, folks. I don't have this written down, so, just gotta wing it sometimes. And she doesn't weigh that much either, but she does a phenomenal elbow from the top. Riho is your winner, beating Kushida. I'm not even. Some of these Japanese names are just so rough. That's why I don't do a lot of All Japan, or New Japan. But she will face off against Nyla Rose, the big beast, competitor of the women's division, against the smaller Riho. And let's hope. I'm gonna go for Riho in this one, in this World Women's Championship match, only because I think that she would be better. I think that there would be more competition for somebody who would be smaller. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be also very good to put the belt on somebody with an international name. I really think that your first champion should have been Kong. Kind of shame on AEW for totally screwing that up. Next, we go to Cody Rhodes. I'm going to call him Cody Rhodes. You can call him Cody. You can call him Stardust. You can call him whatever you want, so don't call him late for dinner. And he faced off against Shawn Spears, the luckiest bastard in the entire world. I say that, and I don't mind Shawn Spears. I think that he is a good wrestler. I call him the luckiest bastard in the entire world because he is now married to one of the, wait for it folks, team that is iconic. He is married to Peyton Royce. They just got married. And then, of course, he had to go and face off against Cody in Chicago. Tully Blanchard is the manager for Shawn Spears, which is okay. Because I like Tully Blanchard. I always have him. I was really glad to see him come out. See him a part of it. I wish that would bring Tessa Blanchard. Again, another person who should be in this World Women's Championship. But, it is what it is. Tessa Blanchard, of course, the daughter of Tully. Now, in the Cody-Shawn Spears match, and I'm going to get to the ending here in a second, and my feelings on it, but Cody did bring out Diamond Dallas Page, his wife Brandy, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and the dog Pharaoh. Now, when the dog came out, the fireworks also went off, scared the dog, and in recent reports, Tony Khan, the president of AEW, said that was wrong, that the dog is fine, but really shooken up by the incident. And, I just think that was kind of stupid on Cody's part, or the people's part, setting that up. I know the man loves his dog, though, so I'm not gonna hound him too much. Ha ha ha. But it shouldn't have happened. Be the elite, being the elite, or whatever their show is. Haven't watched it, but having Cody and the dog and everybody on the, and whatever, you want to bring Pharaoh out for something cool, bring him out when the fireworks aren't happening. But the idea of this whole thing was who was going to be in Cody's corner when you had Tully Blanchard in Sean's corner. And it ended up being MJF. MJF, to me, is the greatest. I'm trying to say this in the correct way to give this guy the ultimate compliment. He comes out and he goes to the crowd and he says, "I'm better than you, and you know it." And you're watching him at being so young. I think the guy's in his early 20s. And you're like, yeah, you might be. Now show us. And then he shows you how great he is. Including a match that he had in MLW against Joey Ryan, who is the literal equivalent of the worst possible thing that you can think of, because Joey Ryan is terrible and should just be taken out and shot. And yes, I said that. Joey Ryan, you are a piece of crap. But MJF still had a match with you. And MJF should be ashamed of himself for having that match. He's got to make it up, just like Kenny Omega does with all of the blow-up doll crap that Cornette keeps talking about. But MJF is making it up in AEW, with all this stuff. So I went off on a tangent there, but I want to talk about how great MJF was, even though the fact remains he still had a match with Joey Ryan in MLW. That was the most god-awful thing I've ever seen. MJF did it. It didn't further his career at all, but he's making a great run here. But he didn't wrestle on the show, which that depressed me. You have a talent like MJF. He needs to get his name back. Let him try to get his name back, and let him wrestle. But they didn't, so kind of depressing. But the match ended up being Cody with Maxwell Jacob Friedman against Shawn Spears with Tully Blanchard. Fair match. It wasn't anything to scream home about. They had a good fight. The part of the match that I was watching mostly was Tully Blanchard and his heel tactics, which were really good, including the belt spot, where they tried to use the weightlifting belt, and when the referee got the weightlifting belt away from Shawn Spears, Tully just handed him his belt and he whipped Cody like a dog. Which is a terrible thing to say when we talked about the dog before, but whatever. And MJF and Tully Blanchard fighting was so entertaining to watch. I didn't even really care about the Cody and Shawn Spears match. I wanted to see what happened with Tully Blanchard and MJF. It was a good little brawl. The weird part to this match, before we get to the finish, was then Arn Anderson came out. Now, Arn Anderson, also a member of the Four Horsemen, Tully Blanchard, member of the Four Horsemen, along with Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, a whole bunch of people were in the Four Horsemen, 4 at a time. But Arn Anderson came out and hit Cody with the spine buster. Arn didn't look in too good shape for the show, but the people went nuts. I kind of went nuts. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like Arn Anderson. One of my favorites of all time. So I didn't have a problem with that. I think he hit Shawn Spears. I'm sorry. I think he hit